tried McGrath, I tried Huda, I tried Urban Decay, I tried them all. And the result is always the same. Hi friends, we are going to talk about what I've learned from more of a decade of beauty blogging. I no longer blog exclusively about beauty or makeup, but behind the scenes I'm still I wouldn't say no longer obsessed, but like enthusiastic about various types of aesthetic self-expression. I've been on a low buy before 2020 for already probably 2 confident years, and the 2020 is actually the year when I splurged a little bit, when I significantly renewed my makeup collection, tried a few hot brands in town, and here is what I've learned from being like in the depth of the beauty YouTube for many years, pulling out of it and coming back. First, you only need foundation for video, like HD recording purposes, or if you actually have severe hyperpigmentation issues. Otherwise, you're better off, especially in the real life, using some like a favorite concealer or corrector of yours. And I have like 2 favorites examples here, just in case if you're looking for something new to try. They're not new actually. They're like well tested oldies that I keep rebuying over and over again. This is probably my 5th bottle of Tarte Creaseless Concealer. It used to be called Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. Believe it or not, I still have one in the older packaging right here. It's like the title completely wore off, but anyway, this is the one that is like super dense, perfect for aging skin. If you have a lot of folds, if you have severe dark circles, this is the shit. I've tried all the alternatives, just there's no need for me to go through that excessive list. Still the best. And something a little bit lighter, something that actually works rather well on the whole of the face, is Bye Bye Under Eye Concealing Pot by It Cosmetics. Whoop. That was interesting. I have it in the shade medium, which is, I would say, light medium rather. This is a slightly different story. It's also sticky, but it's more transparent, and this what makes it a perfect kind of like evening out base that I do just spots, blending with my fingers. And then what I prefer the most and what works the fastest and gives the best finish, instead of applying 55 layers of primers or foundations, I do correcting. I mean, first of all, I do really good moisturizing, and I think this is like 1,000 times more important than any fancy foundation that is on the market. I guess unless you are like a news anchor or you have like some serious, very medically serious issues with your skin. Otherwise, foundation is rather an extra step and never looks quite the same as what I'm about to show you. So we take our favorite concealer, something like sticky, well pigmented, but that shears well, and then you basically apply baked powder. To this day, Laura Geller is the cheapest and the best. You often can find it in different outlet stores like Marshall's, TJ Maxx for $5-10, and slightly more expensive, but on the official site they every once in a while run a 50 or 40% off promotion. I just stock up on these. They're classic baked powder. I get it in the variety of colors because of the veining. Every once in a while the light is not so light and medium is not so medium, so I just kind of like mix and match. And this one, I hate the packaging, but I love what's inside. This is a Baked Elements foundation. I get mine in fair, and actually adapts rather well to a variety of skin tones that I adopt in Florida when I start tanning, though I try not to, but it's just inevitable that eventually I get a little bit darker. And that's it. Like a good baked powder foundation with a layer of evening out concealer or corrector underneath just does it. it does the best job in the humid Florida climate. It was still the best in the dry desert-like heat of California too. So I do still own some fancy foundations. For example, this is, what is it, Dolce & Gabbana. I have some cheaper ones like Revlon. I have options. I do have options, and I have some BB creams, but I rarely ever use them outside of the studio kind of setup. And this is the kind of secret that is like not a popular opinion, because if you're a beauty blogger, every video you should be offering new options to people. And this is why the beauty routines get more and more layered and more complex, because if that was it, the beauty blogging would be over, wouldn't it? We can't let it happen, can we? So here you get primers, toning primers, toners, setting sprays. You get like 1,000 things, while all you actually need is just something that works well with your type of skin, be it dry, aging, oily, or normal, and a really good velvety powder that you can build up if you need to. And that's it. Next, when it comes to brows, I was never really a brow girl. I don't have much of a brow to begin with. So to me, it's just building it up on the outer edge, because I just don't have any hair there naturally. Just making the general shape more even. And that's about it for most people. I don't know, plus minus just like a gel to just like kind of straighten and brush through the hairs if you have bushy brows. That's it. That really is it. And again, the excessive 5-step brow routines are like now years past when Anastasia Beverly Hills became like the it girl of makeup community, on the makeup brand community. It just looks silly to me, to be honest. Yeah, I have like 2 generic. This is a European release, Isadora. This is again Laura Geller. Just like gel-like, even consistency brow pencils with a spoolie. And this is it. It really is enough. It really is. And I always prefer a more elegant, simple brow to any other fancy wolf brows kind of options. It just never goes out of style. It softens, it both strengthens and softens the look at the same time, and it works. It just works. So I probably will never be buying any fancy brow products again. This is just, I think I'm over the gimmicks. When it comes to tools to apply all this face makeup, fingers. Over and over again. I have, let me show you. I have like so many different brushes, like dozens and dozens of various shapes. I've tried silicone sponge, I've tried it all. And basically every once in a while, when I'm like in that particular mood, I'll use a beauty blender to apply foundation. I never use brushes for foundation ever. Never missed it. Just didn't cross my mind to even think of using a brush ever again for liquid products. I use my fingers. They just work. And they work anywhere, always. You just maybe need like to wipe them off to clean the hands, and that's about it. The only thing that I still find I can't part with when it comes to face makeup application is a kabuki, like a thick slanted kind of brush. This is perfect. It applies powder foundation with just 2 or 3 swoops. You can even do bronzing and like kind of wider blushing if you need to. You can do bronzing. It's like everything you can do with one brush if you need to. I have 5 of these. I think these are just some generic brush type, like synthetic fibers. If it's dense enough, soft enough, and it's slanted, it's perfect. I can't imagine my life without it, and basically stop using all other foundation or powder like brushes in my collection. This is almost exclusively it. When it comes to blush, oh, shimmery blushes, oh, metallic blushes. I mean, just like metallic or literally concealers, they are still inexplicably in vogue. They're popular. And I can't fathom why, because they At the very best, they make you look like it's your 15th day on Coachella. At the worst, they make you look so much older. Just so much older. Because metallic blushes and highlighters, they create texture when there was none before. They accentuate every single wrinkle you didn't know was there. They just truly age the face. There's not much more on my memory that ages the face more than metallic face products. Period. Like, argue with me if you wish. I see it every day on my face and the faces of other people. So, my choice when it comes to kind of creating glow on the face is satin and duochrome / iridescent satin blushes. There are a few that I absolutely adore. Kevin Aqua that I got as part of PR for independent review. I didn't expect much of it because it's not really, again, like, it's not a new hot kid in town. It's not the most like luxurious or new or blinding type of powder, but their neon highlights and powders have the perfect texture for aging skin, for mature skin, for skin prone to breakouts, because the kind of shimmer that they contain, it just does the job to perfection. All you need to do is apply it lightly, blend it well, and if you need to build it up. And that's about it. I absolutely love it. I can never go wrong with applying something like this. Another example probably that I love even more, and I already panned it and I'm about to finish it up. This is the Balm. This is a highlighter, but it's actually a gorgeous duochrome satin blush on lighter skin tones. On the darkest skin tone, it would be a gorgeous highlight. Satin highlight, mind you. So the Balm Cindy Luminizer. See, this is a peach powder with golden to cool pink. I'm not sure you will be able to see it here with the bright lights. Kind of a duochrome shift. The shift is very subtle. The finish is super smooth, kind of micro satin. It's not even satin, it's micro satin. But the way that the skin, the actual skin in real life, 4D looks is stunning. Maybe not the most Instagram or camera friendly, but it works. And I don't know what I will do without it. There's a non-zero probability I'll do the unthinkable in the makeup community and buy the same product twice. Just watch me. I just need to finish this off first. And when it comes to highlighters, I already said my piece. Metallic highlighters is the bane of my existence. I do have a few. I mean, I do. I'm not better than anyone's. I do have like the KVD one. It's a duochrome. I have the infamous Wet n Wild ones. I do have metallic highlighters, and every once in a while I use them for the video purposes. I don't love them in real life. I just don't. To me, they look like 80s party that gone for a few days too long. They just don't blend with the skin. Regardless of what beauty bloggers say, like, oh, just buff it in and it becomes, they never. A pearlescent, iridescent, flaky sheet like this always creates texture. You don't know how bad it's gonna look until you apply it. And even people who just like get mesmerized by the look, all they see is the reflection. All I see is all 100,000 wrinkles and bumps, kind of like the puffy eye effect that wasn't there before you applied that metallic highlighter, but now it's there for sure to stay. They create all the kind of shadows and wrinkles that there's no need to create them, especially when they're not visible otherwise. So my favorite highlighters to this day still are, some of you who've been with me for a long time, I probably can just like say them out loud before I even name them. This is Laura Geller baked highlighter in the color French Vanilla. If I knew for a darker skin tone version of that, I would definitely tell you, but I'm sure some of the lighter bronzers, baked bronzers, will do just fine. Love it. It's beautiful setting powder that gives the skin glow. It's beautiful setting powder on the eyes, for which I absolutely adore it. It's delicate glow within the skin type of highlighter. It's the best for real life, for real four-dimensional life that we live in. And the one that is a little bit more satin gives a little bit more of a sheen, but it's still very tasteful and very youthful, is Cover FX. I have it in the color Moonlight because I'm very fair, but they do have darker shades as well. Mine fell down and broke, so I can't quite showcase it to you, but I mean, it's pretty normal powder compact. Let's see if it's gonna show up on camera. Probably not. You see here? It's just so smooth, so subtle, so believable. I guess that's the word I'm going for. And to be honest, I'm so in love with the looks that I get with these face products that I'm just done. Like, I have zero, believe it or not, after 10 years of beauty blogging, I have zero interest in new face makeup. Zero. Because the new stuff, like, you have to read the reviews, you have to choose through the shades, you have to go through the whole shebang and then get something that at its very best is reminiscent of something that you already have, love, and enjoy wearing. Every once in a while I do replacements though, and we're going to talk about a few really lucky replacements with newer brands that I did this year. But when it comes to highlighters, I mean, I think that party has been over for 3 years and it's still not over somehow. I'm losing my patience when it comes to new releases of metallic highlighters. I guess I'm like one of those people with unpopular opinion that has been overdone to death. Never been cool. Not really. But I mean, if you enjoy it, fun, have fun. I mean, who cares? We live once. But in terms of that becoming a staple, that becoming a norm, nah. Okay, moving on. Eyeshadows. I really suspended the judgment this year. I thought, you don't know everything, Maria. You should try a few new things. You should check it out. So I did. I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried and I decluttered and then again decluttered and then again decluttered, and I just landed on an inevitable conclusion that 2021 is the year of perfect, comfortable for you. And I'm going to show you what's the comfort zone for me. Mattes and satins, and for me it is Lorac Pro. I have 3 palettes, and to be honest, it's just like every time, every palette I get from the Lorac Pro, it's just it. It works. It always works. The mattes work, the satins work, metallics, maybe not as metallic as some of the modern metallics on the market, but they also work. And I always go back to these when I'm building a makeup look. Always. There's always one of them on the vanity table that I'll use. So the comfort zone of mattes and satins, and you basically you can literally pan them. You only need 1 or 2 palettes for all needs and purposes. And selected bright duochrome glitter and metallic shades. This is the year of singles for me, and I feel this is like the smell in the air. I think more and more beauty bloggers are turning away from endless palettes with a pop of color that just, one is no longer better than the other. They all kind of sort of maybe usable. It's just, it's getting too much, and at the same time it's getting boring. So the year of singles that it's been for me, and it continues to be. So I got a huge collection of ColourPop shades. They're fine, they're not the best, but some of them I actually kept and I do enjoy wearing. And having these special effects shades, and here I have a few, some Milani, some ColourPop, some JD Glow, amazing. Dreaming of trying Cliona eyeshadows, maybe one day, hopefully. That just covers all special needs, any kind of fancy or dreams that I might have. Yes, here and there will be a palette. Let's just look at it, like Moon Dust, for example, of Urban Decay. It's a really old palette, and they, I think, replaced it with something almost exactly the same this year. And these shimmery, like micro shimmers, really work beautifully as toppers. They're not as good on their own, but as to create a glittering, shimmering look, you just apply a little bit of any of these shadows on top of already a build-up makeup look, and you'll be just fine. I tested them against Pat McGrath, against the ColourPop duochromes, again, like JD Glow, against everything that I own or tried, and they still stand strong. So Urban Decay knows a thing or two about shimmers, actually, even though they're not so cool anymore in the makeup community. And basically everything else is just like unnecessary indulgence. I do use all of these palettes that I'm showing you here, and there is a color or two in every palette that makes it special to me. Let's just do a quick parade so you can kind of understand the spread that I have here. Beautiful Metallics by Tarte. Beautiful kind of dusty, dirty neutrals by It Cosmetics. White Peach by Too Faced, even though Too Faced kind of disgraced itself through its owner's behavior, but the shadows, I do find them to be still kind of like at the median of quality, not so bad. Huda, that turns out to be a less expensive version of Pat McGrath. And yeah, I tried Pat McGrath this year. I swore I wouldn't, but I did. They had a rather fabulous sale on Black Friday. I got their Rose Gold 2 palette. I wore it a couple of times and I returned it. Because, in all honesty, when you do finger swatching, it's like, oh, wow. I had that moment. I had that moment with Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette. But then I started wearing it on my eyes. And this wow effect does not really translate on the eyes, especially if you don't have much of eye space, like lid space, like I don't have much of a lid. And unless you have like huge Bambi eyes, maybe, but then maybe like 1,000 other eyeshadows will work just fine. Like half of my Huda Rose Gold could replace that Rose Gold by Pat McGrath, and another half of Pat McGrath Specials was replaced by JD Glow and other ColourPop eyeshadows that I had. I did comparative swatches, finger swatches, and like eye swatches, just for my own testing. And the Pat McGrath, you can't see them really. I wouldn't be able to tell them apart. I did several makeups, one eye with eyeshadows that I have, another eye with Pat McGrath, and the only subtle difference that I could see where Pat McGrath was doing better is like the infamous duochromes that they have. But there are better duochromes now in the indie market. Much better duochromes. Have you seen glitter duochromes by Cleona D, Lethal Cosmetics? I think there's like Deborah, JD Glow for that matter. Like there's so many indie options that are better than the mainstream these days that I'm at loss to why would anyone spend $100 on something that is so easily dupable. It looks good, it looks beautiful, and I guess I'm glad that the Pat McGrath is making her coin. Why not? But for me personally, if you actually kind of swoosh away all the marketing and all the fuzz, Pat McGrath eyeshadows were no better on the eyes than other eyeshadows that I already have in my collection. And that was a surprise. I thought I would get converted to the fun club, but I didn't. I just didn't. I really had no regrets about returning that palette, and I have no desire to buy neither Natasha Denona nor Pat McGrath again. On the eyes, no. Like if it was custom to wear makeup on your hands at all times, yes. There are a few palettes by Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona that really look stunning, like with finger swatched. But on the eyes, not really. No. And that's the hard, cold, naked truth. And I hope some of you will hear me, because it's so easy to get swept away with these that you forget that when you do it here, there's not nearly enough space, and the turgor, the texture of the skin is so different on the eyes than it is here, then you'll get a completely different performance on the eyes. So yeah, this was the year when I fell in love with singles and completely fell out of love with like multicolored palettes. Last nail in the coffin was that after searching through so many glitter variations, including the beloved Jade Glow that I have Good God, I have Unexpected, I have Plum, I think this is Plum, and like in a few duochromes that I have from ColourPop, and hopefully we'll try from Cleona D. I hear this is like the top of the top when it comes to formulation. To this date, still, if you're looking for unbudging, like 18-hour performance if you need it to, glitter, the shiniest, sparkliest, the most reliable glitter on the market, guess who? Stila. Liquid glitter by Stila. I tested against similar shades. I looked and looked. All other pressed glitters will still, with time, lose their vibrancy. They will kind of fall off your face, fall off your eyes, either on your face or just like kind of blend away or melt away, and sometimes they wrinkle too. It's Dimity Cone, guys. This, even though it kind of dries the skin, but if you really need that sparkle, if you really need that performance, liquid glitters by Stila to date are unbeatable in my book. I tried, I compared, this is the hill I'm willing to die on. Like, this is the battle I'm gonna fight. The constant reinvention of formulas did not really produce products that are way, way better in terms of their effect on camera and in person, and the longevity and reliability of the special effects as liquid glitter formulas. Still the most impressive, even though maybe the most doesn't feel the best on the eyes. They are a little bit drying, but performance out of this world, still the best. When it comes to my other obsessions, I was always a big fan of eyeliners. I love myself a colored eyeliner. This is my thing. I can go with neutral eyes any time of the day, but I do love my jewel toned eyeliners and eyeliners for like a lower waterline and things like that. I have way too many. A lot of them dried out this year. I couldn't really use them up, and I'm trying to learn my lesson. Having too many pencil eyeliners is not a good idea, even if they're the most beautiful on earth, because they will dry up. So I've been slowly replacing a few shades that I've kind of missed. So the glittery purple I got from Urban Decay, their new collection that's called Stoned. Pretty good stuff, actually, highly recommend. And I got a golden mauve, which is called Tiger Eye. And the purple is called Raw Energy. And I think I got a dark, sort of blackened blue, kind of steel blue, by Sephora. I think their gel eyeliners are also like pretty decent. Yeah, and with eyeliners, this year and like this past year, I realized just how wasteful my collection of eyeliners was, despite me loving the diversity there. I'm trying to severely restrict myself to fewer, much fewer, and just build up the looks with maybe applying a colorful duochrome eyeshadow on top of a more generic gray, black, or brown eyeliner, because that also works. Eye primers. I actually still use them. I find them to be as useful as ever, and my two favorites are the Colorless by Lorac. Beautiful, still the best that I've tried so far, that works across different skin types, be them more oily or more dry, especially if you have aging lids, if you have folds in your eyes, if you have creping lids. Still the best so far. The most like it combines a lot of good qualities across the mill. And the colored one, which mostly works for drier and aging lids, I wouldn't recommend it for oily lids, is the Tarte one, Shape Tape. It's just basically the beige cream eyeshadow. I wear it every day. It's my second one. And I have no desire to try anything new because these two just do the job. They do everything for me. And let's talk about eyelashes. Here, where a lot of unsung heroes and unspoken secrets of beauty blogging really lie. I know that not many people watch tutorials anymore, and me neither. And you know why? Because I know the secret of how to make any eye makeup look kind of stand out. And if you look through the tutorials of the past, I would say 3 years, you'll see the same trend. Say it with me. Eyelashes. You can make the most boring, generic, poorly blended look. Make it as bright or boring as you wish. What it really makes it beauty blogging or Instagram worthy is eyelashes. Almost no beauty blogger these days shows their face without fake eyelashes. This is like the absurdity of how made up you have to be just to be on camera these days. It really spiraled a lot out of control in the past 4 years, for better or for worse. I'm all for made up look. What I'm not for is when it becomes mandatory or expected. That gives me the more kind of oppressive kind of vibe rather than the joy of self-expression. So I started wearing false eyelashes. I started wearing them about 2 years ago, and I still do, but I only do it for sort of late night evening purposes, if I need to be made up for a couple of hours, or on camera. Every time anybody compliments me on this channel, on my other channel, it's always because and when I wear false eyelashes. That's just it. I can do the most immaculate, amazing job with applying eyeshadow and the face makeup. When I do have false eyelashes, that's when people pay me compliments. I don't know if I should be happy or sad about it, but it's true. And I want you guys to know that if you can't achieve a beauty blogger look, even if you're using the same products and you're doing all those 50 steps, it is not because there's something wrong with your face or even your technique. This is it. This is truly it. You take away their false eyelashes and most of the makeups on YouTube right now will be rather underwhelming to you. It's just the beauty world has gone to full drag with such force and momentum that I don't see it coming back to au naturel anytime soon. So, I have quite a stash. I usually cut them in half and apply them more like on the outer half of my lid because I have hooded lids. Applying false lashes is a non-trivial task, let me tell you. I've been doing it for years now and I'm still struggling. So I'm gonna try something new. So I got this set of eyelashes from Meliora, which is one of the I guess it's a pretty popular brand when it comes to false mink, kind of like silky eyelashes. But what they offering this year, which I'm excited to try because it's supposed to make the whole procedure slightly less cumbersome, because for me it's a lot of steps. Basically they made a black eyeliner, a felt tip eyeliner, that is also an adhesive. First of all, it actually does work as an eyeliner. Again, for me it's a really big problem. I have light, short, non-dense lashes, small eyes, so every time when I apply a false eyelash, you can clearly see where it is. There's like no blending whatsoever. So I always have to create a rather thick wing, so the blackness of it kind of masks the separation of the false eyelashes and the natural ones. And I do apply my favorite volumizing mascara, the one and only. I almost don't want to use anything else these days, but we're not sponsored. Lancome Monsieur Big. If you have icky lashes, I don't know how else to call it, lashes that cannot be seen unless you apply 3 layers of a mascara, you will love this mascara. It's not the cheapest, it's not the most expensive. I just buy the double packs every once in a while. Macy's and all the other big stores have like double packs where you, I think, pay 30% less. I just stock it up, and this is the only mascara I use. And even that kind of helps a little bit because it makes them super black and thicker and kind of more volumized. And then I usually apply a black eyeliner. Then on top of that, I apply a glue. And then on top of that, I eventually glue the eyelash. That's a lot. If it sounds like it's exhausting, believe me, it's even more exhausting in person. So I'm excited to try this thing. If any of you have seen it before or saw anybody apply it, please let me know. Maybe like share a tutorial or two, because I want to get this right. If this works, this could be like a game changer if it works. I'll let you know later on. If you're curious, please let me know in the comments below, and maybe we'll talk about my beauty routine, or even do like get ready with me and talk through some issues together. Just let me know in the comments down below. I'm like super open to various formats of how we can discuss these things. Largely, this is it. The only thing that's left, an important thing that's left to talk about, is lip products. What I realize that I'm not the kind of person that wears bright, dark, or like unusual lip colors. I do have them for on-camera purposes. Even then, I rather gravitate toward neutrals. Something that kind of coincides with my lip color and maybe gives it a little bit of a tinge. A cooler, or like something peachy or warmer. And what I realized that in contrast to eyeshadows, where I rather prefer light packaging, that's cardboard, something that you can easily clean, something that's light and I can hold and actually look into the mirror when applying makeup. I don't care for expensive packaging eye palettes. I'm kind of surprised to say that, because I thought I did care about aesthetics of it all. But when I got the McGrath palette, and it's truly a very hard luxury design, no questions about it, but I rather found it to be a problem. I didn't enjoy it at all. I'm absolutely happy with laconic, like something like I guess Lorac does. This is probably optimal for my taste. Clean, I mean, I guess the resinous nature of it makes it harder to clean, so I would prefer something easier. But more or less, something like that. It's just thin with a mirror where you need it. This just works. This is all I need from an eyeshadow palette. But when it comes to lipsticks, I had a huge collection of lipsticks. A lot of them were budget kind of friendly. Then Bourjois, Essence, Maybelline actually, I would say their matte lipsticks have very good quality packaging. But a lot of affordable lipsticks that I had became kind of disgusting with time. And it really affected me in a negative way. Every time I would pick up the lipstick that had like plastic peeling, you know, like all the golden stuff peeling, the name is gone. It's just not pleasant to hold in your hand. I would kind of feel icky even applying the lipstick, despite the fact that the product was fine inside. And I realized that when it comes to lipsticks specifically, I do care about the packaging of it as much, if not more, as to the quality of the lipstick inside. Obviously, I want a good lipstick, but I think lipstick market right now is in a pretty good shape. You know, you won't suffer if you buy almost any $20-$30 lipstick. They're all gonna be just fine. That's just my not so humble opinion. But when it comes to packaging, here there is a world of difference. The two that I'm enjoying so far the most is Marc Jacobs and even more so Pat McGrath. Here is where Pat McGrath stole my heart. It's cutesy, it's stylish, it's kitschy. At the same time, it is in many ways elegant. And there, I'm not advocating for Pat McGrath over Marc Jacobs, over Dior, or over any other. I'm just saying my revelation after a decade of having huge, like beauty blogger size collection is that I only want to have at max 20 lipsticks, but I want each of them to be an object of art. Because these are the ones that live in my purse. These are the ones that I constantly touch when I reapply the lip color. These are the ones that I have to withstand the test of time the most when it comes to the outer packaging, at least in the way that I wear and use makeup. Pat McGrath and the Marc Jacobs are my absolute favorites. I indulge. It's such a joy to hold these and apply them. Love it. If you guys know of any other brands that do impeccable job, like just better than anyone else when it comes to lipsticks, let me know. I might be open to one or two more in 2021, but otherwise I'm pretty set. And this is probably the most impactful kind of revelations that I collected over the past year, and actually more, with the low buy and with indulging, kind of coming back to the beauty market again and learning as much as I could with kind of a new, sharper eye on the quality, price, and kind of utility of every makeup item in my life. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you had any idiosyncratic revelations, what you've learned about the way you use makeup and the way that it doesn't make sense to follow beauty blogger advice and the way that it does make sense to follow beauty blogger advice, please let me know in the comments below. I find this kind of self-reflective, analytical approach very intriguing. I find it actually mesmerizing. I love videos like that. I love talking about it. It just, I'm a data scientist. What can I do? I love to analyze and kind of reveal patterns and reveal insights when it comes to almost all aspects of my life. I just hope that I could dispel some of the fears and maybe false beliefs for you. I hope that some of that might be new and interesting for you to try, and some of that will bring you to peace. Especially, I see so much lamenting online of women who are trying to achieve unattainable standards of beauty and feel like, oh, there's just something wrong with me then. There's something wrong with my face, there's something wrong with the way I do it, I don't know, I'm broken, I'm wrong. And this is so not true. And with me being in the heart of this industry for so long and really knowing from inside just how deceptive it is in the best and in the worst ways, there are things that are beautiful and amazing about makeup, but there are things that it's an illusion, and no beauty blogger looks like they do in their videos and their Instagram photos and videos. They don't look like that in real life. And just like I showed you, like I shared my tip with how to make any makeup look glamorous and Instagram worthy, this is truly it. I mean, if you've never tried it, just play with false eyeshadows. We can throw them away, buy the cheap ones. Just try to play with it and see if it's worth your time. The impact is worth the effort. For me, oddly enough, it was worth it in moderation. But otherwise, I am still in love with applying makeup. I'm no longer in love with the makeup market, to be honest. I think it's overheated. I do enjoy picking up the gems here and there, but otherwise, I don't think I'll ever be as fooled and betrayed by the consumeristic parts of being in the makeup community as I was, let's say, 3 years ago. I think that train is gone. I'm very happy it has gone, to be honest. And I don't like makeup less. I think that's the good news. For those of you who are afraid of starting low buys or afraid of kind of detaching from the hauling culture, it was a like lo and behold, it was like a very pleasant surprise that there are still amazing gems on the market. I still enjoy shopping. I no longer enjoy it more than the activity of applying makeup itself. And that was a saving grace for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Share it if you want to with your friends who also love makeup like me, you do. I will be waiting for feedback. Let me know what kind of journey did you have with this whole shebang. I know that many of us, even those who don't apply makeup, have been watching way too much of beauty content in the past 5 years. Let me know how it's been progressing for you. What have you learned? What kind of highs and lows did you have during this time? I would love to hear what you have to say about this theme, this topic, and I'll see you in the next video.